It's a
Hello, everybody, and welcome to ZTV Live. Today is Thursday, August 20th, 2020. I'm Susan Mulligan Fleischman, and I'm so glad that you joined us tonight. It's the Virginia Amos Show, and Virginia's guests are Amy Eggers and Lauren Fisher of the Delray Vintage and Flea Market, and we'll be with Amy and her guests in just a second. But first, I just wanted to give you a couple of words from our fantastic sponsors. Tonight's episode of ZTV Live is sponsored by Murphy's Grand Irish Pub on King Street in Old Town Alexandria. Murphy's has outdoor seating, limited indoor seating, curbside pickup and delivery, and live music Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evenings. Visit murphyspub.com. And by Riverbend Bistro on Fort Hunt Road in the Holland Hall Shopping Center in Alexandria, with carryout as well as indoor and outdoor seating. Be sure to check out their delicious summer menu and their delicious and refreshing specialty cocktails. Visit riverbendbistro.com. And by the Italian Place on Wythe Street in Old Town. Look for your favorite authentic Italian specialties like pizza, pasta, fresh Italian subs, and Italian wines. Its counter-serve store stocks all sorts of Italian goods and goodies. Visit theitalianplace.com to see their dinner specials, pizza kits, and more. If you'd like to become a sponsor or place an ad with the Zebra or ZTV Live, please go ahead and send us an email at ads@thezebrapress.com. That's ads@thezebrapress.com. And tonight is the Virginia Amos Show, and I know Virginia is so happy to introduce her guest tonight. So first, let's say hello to Virginia. Hi, Virginia. Welcome back.
Hi, Susan. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good.
That's good. You got you're looking beautiful over there as always.
Oh, thank you. It's been a long week, so I need that.
It has been a long week. A long week. We've had a crazy busy week as well. We've had a very last minute acceptance for my son going to college, and so it was kind of a last minute. We thought he was going to go in the spring, and he got a last minute in. So we just found out yesterday that he goes tomorrow. So it's really been, it's been. It goes to show you that when you only have 1 minute as the last minute, that's all you need. So. Anyway, let me bring your guests up on the screen, Amy and Lauren. And okay, we're all here, just like the Brady Bunch. Hi, guys.
Well, as always, I am talking to the most exciting people, businesses, and organizations in Alexandria, and the people who make it just such a great place to live and work. Tonight, I am lucky enough to be talking to two Delray neighbors. I love that. Amy Eggers and Lauren Fisher. Amy lives right around the corner from me.
Yep.
And Lauren, where do you live?
About a mile down.
Okay, well, there you have it. It's not that far.
Yeah.
Turns out, actually, I first met Amy online. I don't know, somehow we became friends on Facebook, and then she was making face masks, and I ordered two, and it turned out she's right around the corner from me. And then lo and behold, it turns out that she and Lauren are the co-founders of the Delray Vintage and Flea Market. Or is it Flea Market and It's Vintage and Flea Market?
Right, yep.
Which is, I have not been there because I'm downsizing people. I don't want to take any chances. But I thought, what a great opportunity to find out more about this new endeavor in Alexandria. So, ladies, take it away. Just charge right in and tell us all about it.
Well, Virginia, thank you so much for having us on the show. No one's described us as exciting yet, so thank you for the introduction.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we can live up to that.
Oh, look at those earrings. Those are fabulous.
Yes.
Those are exciting.
Found it at a flea market.
Okay.
So I'll just start the story because very much like you, I only met Amy last year, and she came into my life at exactly the right time, and that was the time in which I needed to downsize myself, or I should say, when my husband instructed me to. We had been collecting antiques and fleas for a while, or vintage items, and I was like, oh, I'd really like to sell it, and I'm lucky enough to have a parking lot. I have a couple different businesses. I like to call myself a multi-passionate entrepreneur, but it had come across like, hey, I'd love to run a flea market, but there was no one really with me, and there was just no energy, and it just kind of sat to the side. Anyway, this all comes to Amy because I met her through the Delray Business Association at one of the pop-up markets. I have a t-shirt company, and she has a floral company, and Amy's just one of those people you meet and you just feel like you've known her forever. So like me, we got a cocktail, and we just started talking about our love of vintage and flea. And she's like, "We should run a market," and I'm like, "Yes, we should." And
there you go.
So
the rest is history.
Yeah, can take it from there.
So I was really excited to be able to start a new community event, and hopefully it will become a tradition. I guess you could say, a long Delray runs in my family for 5 generations. So I was eager to, really dig my heels in and become involved and create new memories, if you will, for people. And I've been collecting mid-century modern vintage things and clothing and anything you can think of for probably about the past 20 years. And as everybody gets to that point, you think, maybe some of this would be more appreciated by someone else. And so that's really what I think we love about the market, is that we do get very like-minded people there, and we try to keep it so that it's very thoughtful in terms of, you're not going to go there and see someone selling something that they bought at the dollar store, Right. So everything has so much character there. And I think two things really struck me. Last season was our first season, and we were packed like sardines into Lauren's lot. And so I thought, I wonder if we can expand this. This is obviously before COVID. And so fortunately for us, the Salvation Army has very generously given us their back parking lot to use as well. And it has made a world of difference, especially now that we have to space out. But one of the things that our vendors repeatedly say, and I know Lauren will agree with this, is that ours is one of their favorite markets to vend at because the people in this community are so nice. And it just makes such a difference for them. Even if they don't have a great sales day, you're out having fun, meeting people, the whole bit. And then another thing that was really touching and kind of solidified, I think, why Lauren and I did this. A gentleman at I think it was July's market of this year came up and said, "This has been the only thing that has made me feel like normal again," because he had attended last year, and you could still see your same vendors, you see the friends, see what everybody has to sell, and it was like that one part of normalcy, ever since March. So when you hear things like that, it's like, it makes all the lugging worth it.
So how did you find your vendors? Did you put out a call? Were you hooked into a network already?
No, actually, Lauren, it was only 3 of us the first time, and we were all just sitting there like by ourselves.
Yeah. I think that you might have known 1 or 2 people, and I knew one. But then we went ahead and put it on
Craigslist.
Our Facebook page. Yeah. And we had 10 spots, but almost immediately we had 15, 20 people asking for each one.
Right.
So so that was surprising. It's always nice when there's just organic growth. And like you said, the people are very nice. And it was really great to just breathe life into that area.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Another thing I want to add in is that, being involved in the Business Association, we're always very conscientious of supporting small businesses. So, and I know retail's been suffering. So we were like, hey, let's bring people to the Avenue. Exactly. And some of the other businesses, like Top It Off and Purple Goose and Bellies and Babies have also been like putting stuff out and started earlier.
Right.
So, and so that's part of our hope too, is just to bring people more to the neighborhood. And we've been getting people who've never been to Delray.
That's true. We actually had somebody from Maryland come. Yeah. And I'm sorry, Lauren, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but just to go to that point, and, but I think, I'm not sure if everybody knows there's the Arlington Civitan flea market that's been happening for decades in Arlington. And it's in a covered parking garage that spans over I-66.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right near kind of Spout Run, that area. And so that flea market happens the first Saturday of every month from April to November, I think. And so that's why I thought that ours should happen the second Saturday, because we're pulling from the same pool of vendors and shoppers. And so I think once you get hooked in, like Lauren said, to one of them, it is a network that they have amongst themselves. And it's actually a very nice community of people who come, and you don't have to live in Delray to participate, or even Alexandria. We have one gentleman who drives all the way out here from Rappahannock County.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, and he's never missed a market. So I think, the word is definitely getting out, but it's still so interesting to me where people are just walking by and they're like, I didn't even know this happened. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh.
Well, I remember kind of the first time I saw it and I saw a sign and I was like, well, what is that? I was kind of oblivious. And I admit to not being somebody who seeks out flea markets. And I think part of the reason is I am the only daughter of a very Southern household. And if you know what that means, it means that I have silver lace, silver, crystal, china, and linens just out the wazoo. So it's like, I cannot bring one more thing in here.
Understood, definitely.
Although, it's something that you all did, I have always been a huge fan of the I can't pronounce it, the Mount Vernon, the flea market for the big flea.
Yes, exactly.
The big flea. Partly because it has been the depository for many of my own items. And there's a joke, that the things just cycle through. You buy them one year and you take them back the next, and you buy something else. And so, of course, this year it was just devastating to them.
I know. Well, we were happy to have them, though.
I know. It was such a great thing to do.
And hopefully they'll be back. We are working collaboratively with them, especially because their warehouse space is in the Oakville Triangle area.
Yep.
So they're under a little bit of a pinch too. The booths there, can't even come close to what they have, in a normal year. But my son used to go to Mount Vernon Community School, so I was connected with the women who are running it now. And fortunately, they had the really wonderful idea to try to maximize the opportunity. And we really hope to have them back as often as possible.
Good, because it's a perfect collaboration.
Agreed.
In multiple ways.
Agreed.
So what do you see trends at the market?
I would say that there's a lot of furniture that sold the last time. And but Lauren, are you seeing more small items selling? Or for me personally, I was selling a lot of arts and crafts items.
Okay.
Or supplies.
Yeah, I can't say, you had the tiki stuff. There was a trend with a lot of tiki, and that's what sold this. This woman had a large tiki bar that someone secured for their pandemic at home staying. But yeah, such a variety of items. Kitchenware does really well.
Yep, that's true.
Jewelry. People do like furniture, and that I would have thought wouldn't have been such a and then for clothing too. I know, some people have newer clothing, in good condition. I had brought, I sold a really beautiful
Lily Pulitzer dress from the 1960s,
Mm-hmm.
and it fit the woman like a glove, which
Wow.
was really, like that kind of thing. It's like I was sorry to see it go.
Yes.
I couldn't fit my leg into the whole thing now, but it was it was lovely to see someone else appreciate it and for this dress to continue living on. But yeah, I mean, it's really a mishmash, and yourself, the weather has everything to do with it.
Yeah.
Planned vacation, so it's either feast or famine, it feels like. And again, though, it's like I never go away from that day thinking, oh, what a waste of time this was, even if I didn't make that much money, but because it's just so fun to be with everybody. And Lauren plays music, and my son sold lemonade the last time.
Well, I was going to ask you,
Yeah.
is anybody doing refreshments?
Yes, there will be a lemonade stand again.
Okay.
And then we'll probably change it up seasonally, because we did add one more month, so we'll be running through December this year.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe it'll be hot chocolate then.
Well, at the rate we're going, it would probably be
exactly.
80 degrees.
Exactly.
Well, and Virginia, I think you were being kind when you said you saw a sign. I wonder if it was like a grassroots sign that had chicken scratch on it. Because that's what I did to start, and maybe there's still a few here and there. But Amy really took our market to the next level this year with our website and on the Facebook and marketing. So we really are trying to spread the word. It's been fun to see it develop. So.
It has, and we have on the website, and this is partially, I will admit that it is like herding cats, keeping track of the emails, for the people who want to participate. So I made it easier on us, and there's a sign up genius functionality through our website, so that vendors can just go in. Now I will say, I think September and October are full. We had to reduce the number just again for the spacing, distancing, but it's kind of on autopilot from that respect, which is great. Obviously we are requiring people to wear masks as vendors and shoppers, and everybody has been so wonderful about that. We have hand sanitizer put out also. And then we just have, the basic guidelines and safety rules on some large signs as you enter both of our lots. So really it's become very streamlined.
Good. Well, I would two things that came to mind is one is that since we won't have Art on the Avenue in its normal form this year, that this is an outlet for creativity.
Absolutely.
In many respects. And secondly, I think that you are providing a way to be together that is also fun and makes company for people. And I think that, I think that's what we've also sadly missed for
absolutely
months, is just ways to be together that, didn't mean sitting at, tables that were, 15 feet apart.
Exactly.
Well said.
And then another element too that I think has been helpful is that, because the Salvation Army has, helped, they really do help so many people in our immediate area. We do encourage people to bring non-perishable food items to donate for their food pantry. You're right there at their building, and there was a lot of people in need right now, so it's a good opportunity to take advantage of that gathering too.
That's a great way. That's a great way to do it. It occurs to me too that I was a latecomer to the Buy Nothing group, but it fascinates me. And there are, it's like the gig economy. There's so many ways to circulate things in the economy without the traditional methods of exchange. And at the same time, like you said, you want to support the businesses along the avenue. So you're bringing new people into the community who may well find something at the flea market. But then if they go on down the avenue, they're going to find something else. I have been chair of the Delray House and Garden Tour for a couple of years and I've worked on it for like 15 years. And that was always one of our selling points was, it brought thousands of people into the community who would not ordinarily be there. They have to eat lunch, and they want to stop. You know?
And I mean, I'll be honest. I think maybe it's I know Lauren and I have such neighborhood pride, and I want to show off Delray too. You know, I'm so proud of how everybody comes together and how the neighborhood is. I mean, I think there's a lot of incentive there as well. You know,
we have one question from our viewer, from our very beautiful viewer, Bridget Brown, and she's wondering, do you guys pick up donations?
No, unfortunately not right now. It's a 2-woman show. And I have a Mini Cooper, so I don't think. But you know, if somebody is looking to donate something, I would definitely contact the MV Big Flea and see if they are still accepting donations.
So I will tell you, the House and Garden Tour is always on Mother's Day weekend. So put that on your calendar for 2021.
Yes.
Because that would be very cool for you all to have the flea market up and running.
Absolutely.
On that Saturday.
Absolutely. And, you know, one of the driving factors, too, for, I think, our wanting to do it on Saturdays and the hours that we've chosen is that there's already so many people out and about for the farmers market.
Yep.
That, you know, you see everybody walking up the avenue with their compost buckets or the things that they've purchased. So we were really hoping initially, I think, to get some foot traffic from those customers as well. And Pat Miller, the market manager, very generously lets us put signage out at the farmers market now on the day of our flea market so that, you know, it's really driving traffic down the other side of Mount Vernon. And then in the meantime, all the businesses in between are getting that foot traffic too.
Good.
So win-win.
Good. Yeah, well, hopefully people watching tonight and over the next couple of days, when they see repeats of this, will know about it and want to come.
Yes.
We have a fairly big reach, I'm happy to say.
Virginia, I love the House and Garden Tour. It's like it fulfills your curiosity. It never fails to amaze me. Like when you go in, what people have done. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you. I mean, that's people sometimes ask what are you looking for, and I'm always looking for interesting. It, it doesn't have to be new. It doesn't have to be sleek. It doesn't have to be a certain. I just want it to be interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But that's kind of like how maybe Amy and I are. I'm a big estate sale, but on the other end, after people have passed, and they're clearing out, like it's really interesting to go into people's homes because I love like the story it tells, like about who they are, and I always just have a soft spot for, I just don't want people's things to be thrown away, one for use, but two, like it was special to someone. So I always love collecting items to just, I don't know, way honor those individuals, but, so.
That's nice. I'm always scared to death that if I drop dead tomorrow, but seriously, what are my children going to find in my drawers that I have, it's like.
Forgotten about.
It's like, it's like, so I keep getting rid of things because I want to pare it down so I know everything that's left.
I actually think that's how my collecting habit started because I used to stay with my grandmother when I was little, and every time she would clean out a closet or the junk drawers, I would end up going home with bags full of stuff, and you can tell my mother was delighted about that, but it was what Lauren said. It was like I couldn't bear the thought of like, oh, this sweet little thing. I don't want to see it thrown out, But the other thing that's interesting too is, aside from a collecting angle, is this the reuse angle? We were going to actually participate in the Earth Day celebration too, from that angle because it's not in a landfill and it's being reused by someone who values it or needs something at a discounted cost. And so it's a pretty cool event in a lot of different ways, however you look at it. I, for one, probably shop more than I sell from the other vendors. But you never know what you're going to find, and you never know who you're going to meet also. We've had, in fact, one of our newer vendors, Sandy Gibson. She what is she called, a musicologist, I think, but she's a radio documentarian, and she's fantastic. I can't believe that we've met, and then there's another woman who used to manage all of the National Zoo gift shops.
Oh my God.
And she has a picture of her hanging out and feeding one of the pandas, all these cool stories. And we have a lot of artisans this year too. So I think if somebody were to come back to the market, having visited it last season, they're going to see a big difference in the variety that we have, because of COVID, we've expanded it a little bit more to the artisans.
Oh, good. I like that. And talking about repurposing, again, kind of as the only child of an only child, repurposing things. I mean, most of the time, something that you're using that was your mother or your grandmother's is much better made than
Absolutely,
something that you're going to buy now.
Yes.
And why not, do something with it? Whether it's silver that you turn into. I'll have to come share them to you sometime. I had a pair of two of my favorite things. I had a pair of sterling silver shoe buckles.
Oh, cool. Wow.
That were my grandmother's. And
oh my gosh.
I had them turned into earrings.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
And they're fabulous. They're just fabulous. And I did the same thing with a pair of gold cufflinks that belonged to my grandfather. They were like 18 karat gold. Well, I'm not going to wear cufflinks. So I had them turned into earrings. And it gives me such pleasure to wear them. Yes. They're, actually very valuable. But they're practical now.
Yeah.
And I think that's a smart way to look at things, and especially if it's sentimental, so is it going to collect dust, or are you going to rework it and actually use it?
Absolutely.
That's such a beautiful thing to do, Virginia, and it's always going to, you'll always hold so much value. I am interrupting for another couple of questions.
Okay.
Someone is wondering, Mary wants to know what you do have in your drawers, Virginia.
I was wondering.
But she also wants to know if the same vendors come every month, and also how many different vendors are there, and also if you can let people know what the hours are again.
Of course. Lauren, do you want to take that?
Yeah. Well, the hours are 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the second Saturday of each month from May to December.
Yeah. Okay. May to December, yeah.
Traditionally, at least. Yeah. And Amy, the total amount of vendors we have currently?
Well, we can accommodate 30 to 40,
That's amazing.
It's awesome, but we've been cutting that almost in half just to be able to provide the distancing.
Okay, the distance.
Yeah, so, and we do have repeat vendors, but with new vendors cycled in. And I'll be honest with you, and Lauren knows this probably better than me, but some of the vendors this is their bread and butter, so, and with so many other markets being canceled, this was very important to them, and then other vendors, speaking of estate sales, they might have had a parent pass and they are looking to sell some of the things that aren't sentimental to them, and that's the only time they'll vend. It's just for that one shot, and then it's a little bit of a mixed bag.
Yeah, and I think, Amy, you don't say, even if the repeat vendors, they bring different items.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I've never heard anyone be like, it's boring, it's the same thing. So they kind of know how to work it, expecting that they'll be repeat crowds, too.
Exactly. And what's cool, too, is that, for instance, one of our vendors, the gentleman I mentioned from Rappahannock County, his mom was a professional quilter or seamstress, and so he's connected with all the sewing guilds or the quilting circles even here in Alexandria, so he's got his own little channels into these niche markets as well. So it's pretty cool what as you're talking to some of these vendors, they'll tell you other things that they have that might not be on the lot that day.
Right,
so it's important to show up. Sorry, I'm interrupting again. Okay. After you finish that, a viewer just wants to know what the location is. So,
okay, go ahead.
If you could give that again.
Yeah, so it's at 1900 Mount Vernon Avenue, which is the corner of Bellefonte and Mount Vernon. It's the big blue building. It's right on the same block as the post office. So you'll see it. And the Salvation Army is on the other corner, adjacent on Bellefonte and Mount
Yeah.
Vernon. So
Yep.
we should have some pretty big
Yeah.
signs out there.
And we always have tents out in the parking lot too, so you'll definitely notice something's going on, you know, and
Yeah.
music is playing, things like that. And the next market is September 12th. That's the exact date. And then it goes. I can't remember the. Sorry, I can't remember the numbers for the other ones.
Well, that's all right. We'll get you posted on the zebra and tell everybody. Oh, now I didn't get a chance to. I want to ask you about the ring. I love this ring.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
So I have 3 Boston Terrier dogs.
Okay.
And actually, we've had this breed for about 20 years. And we're on our 6th consecutive one, so we have another collecting problem, right? But so I love cameos. So it's like a Boston Terrier cameo.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
It's fabulous.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I love cocktail rings.
Yeah, I've got a big cameo that belonged to my grandmother, and
Oh.
I'm sort of just wearing it now as a brooch, you know, on lapels, because
Yeah.
what else do you do with these things?
Exactly. And, you know, it's interesting, too, to see how, like, as fashion trends evolve, one thing, and Lauren, you might have noticed this, I love the number of young people who are coming and, like, legitimately shopping for stuff. Like, I had one young woman, sorry, in maybe her late teens, early 20s, and she came and bought every single belt buckle I was selling. And it was awesome, you know, like I knew she was going to wear them and she had an interest in it. So it's not just, you know, the ladies club.
Right. Now, one thing I did want to ask, on just some of your repeat vendors particularly, can people, if you're looking for something special, maybe it's a spoon or depression glass, can you kind of put in a request and say, you know,
Sure.
if you find something on your travels that I'd be interested?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And then you know what another really cool aspect is that we have our friend Monica Schiavo. She appraises things now at the market for free.
Ooh,
and
our
so
own Antiques Roadshow. I love it. I love
yes,
it.
exactly. Yeah. So and she has a past career in appraisals and auctions. So, you know, she's really coming at it from a professional point of view. It's not just someone who's like, oh, it looks like it's really expensive. But no, she's excellent. And people are really excited about it. And she's had like people make appointments even, you know, to have this done. So that's a really cool aspect that we're happy to offer. We're really lucky to have her.
Oh, I'm going to have her on.
Wow, that's cool.
Absolutely.
We have one more question. I'm sorry to keep butting in, but I love that we're getting questions. It's fantastic. But everybody's loving your market and everything that's going on there. One other question is, do any of the vendors have specialties per se? That's a great question from Andrea Kozlow. Thank you, Andrea.
Oh, hi, Andrea. Yes, they do. We have one woman who just does upcycled home decor items, you know, so she's not the one bringing in the vintage clothing or anything. Like, she is literally making her items. Then we have other people who specialize in eras, you know, so we actually just brought on one of my favorite vendors, a new vendor, last month. Bruce Nichols is his name, and he is one of the foremost mid-century modern dealers, I would say probably in the country at this point. So I think, you know, maybe people specialize in eras. We do have one woman who will be there next month who has fabulous jewelry, and it's all like under $10, you know, so it's a mixed bag.
Great. And linens, because you promised me that you would help me get rid.
I know, I will. I will take fabric. All I've been doing, I've been making like hundreds and hundreds of masks. So anytime I can get fabric.
Well, I have a ton of fabric for you. That's great. I'm so excited about that. Well, listen, ladies, this has just been absolutely fabulous. I'm so glad you came on. I think this is just such a great addition to Alexandria. I mean, I'm thrilled it's here in Delray, but I think for Alexandria in general, there's nothing else quite like that. I mean, you've got some things that are housed with vendors.
Yeah.
Oh, I will just tell you this because it used to be my favorite gift to give people. I knew a lot of people who went to seminary, and so I'm always looking for presents when they graduate from seminary. And I didn't want sweet things because I'm not a very sweet person. But I would, and it was when I was traveling a lot. I was in the publishing business, and I was particularly in Tennessee, and I would go scour these antique malls. What I was looking for, and I still love these. Remember the fans that funeral homes used to pass out?
Yes.
Have Jesus in the garden of Gethsemane. Those were my favorite things to pick up.
Excellent.
And I would give them to all my priest friends. So
that's so great.
But they were so much fun. I mean, that's what I love about. I do just like to go see this. I don't.
Exactly, and that's what's so great about it. It's free to attend.
Yeah.
It's $20 if you want to vend, which is a really good price.
Really
good. And you get like a 10 by 10 space or like a parking lot space, And sorry, one of my dogs is actually wanting to come into the door. So. But it's a great bargain, and even if you don't have money or you don't want to spend it, that's okay. Just come and look and meet people.
Oh yeah, I love it. I just love it. Okay, so it's the second Saturday of the month, and it starts when, April?
Generally, yes.
Okay, and you're going to go through December.
Right.
And it's from 9 to 1.
Yes.
And it's right on the corner of Mount Vernon and Bellefonte.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, and it spills over the Salvation Army building. It's right next door, and it spills over into that parking lot too.
Yep.
Okay, so people, everybody who's listening, there is absolutely no excuse for you not to come on September the 12th to this fabulous vintage and flea market, and you'll see Amy there with her red hair, which I'm crazy about.
Thank you.
Lauren with her great dangling earrings.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. You have special costumes you wear,
No, but we
the ceremony.
We should actually. I was thinking of having T-shirts made with some crazy saying on the back of them or something like "In Rust We Trust" or "Junk in the Trunk." I don't know.
I just feel like mistress of the flea market,
Yes, that's true.
That's even better.
There you are. That's exactly what you are. You pulled all this together, and I'm so glad you two met. And
Me too.
You said to each other, "We need to do this," and you have brought it home to us. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll do this again sometime.
Please.
Maybe in the dead of winter when you're getting ready to.
That would be good.
For spring.
Yes.
And when the Delray House and Garden Tour is going on.
Yeah, look forward to it.
Terrific.
Okay.
Wonderful.
All right. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you so much,
you.
ladies. What a wonderful show, and I will definitely see you guys up there on September 12th. I'm coming by.
Yes.
And I, for one, vote for "In Rust We Trust." I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
All right,
I'll
ladies.
have a shirt for you. Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
Bye-bye.
sounds great. Okay, good night for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so that'll do it for ZTV Live tonight with the Virginia Amos Show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you even more for the questions and the comments. We just really love the interaction with everybody, and so we'd like to see more and more of it. Please join us next week. We have a wonderfully busy week. We have on Monday, Steve Hauk is Living on Music with Ron Newmeyer, a local legend who's the musical director and founder of both the Newmeyer Flyer and Bandhouse Gigs tribute shows. Perhaps a couple of his favorite artists will also play. On Tuesday, Ralph Peluso hosts Reading, Writing, and Ralph. Author Sandra Perez Glushenkoff joins Ralph to discuss her book, Thorns for Rizel. And on Wednesday, host James Collins has 10 questions for Allie Barbaro of Hunger Free Alexandria. And next Thursday, Virginia Amos is back with the Virginia Amos Show. So hopefully we'll see you here next week every night. And until then, have a fantastic weekend. Happy Friday tomorrow. And remember to be the good news in someone's life.